I would like to call to order the Monday, August 5th meeting of the City of Monona Finance and Personnel Committee. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Wood.
Here.
Mayor O'Connor.
Here.
Alder Kitzler is excused.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the July 15th meeting?
So moved.
I'll second. Any corrections or additions? I have none either. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved. There are no appearances. There is no unfinished business. Under new business, item 6A, consideration of resolution number 19-8-2365, authorizing the issuance of $3,530,000 general obligation promissory notes and the issuance and sale of $3,530,000 taxable anticipation notes, Series 2019B, in anticipation thereof. Is there a motion to approve this?
Move approval.
I'll second.
Yes, but before Jeff comes up here, the number's been changed to 3.4. He'll talk about, once they went off for to the market today, they got capitalized interest. So it's actually went down, so.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff, I guess do you want to come up to the,
Thank you, Mayor.
identify yourself?
Certainly. Good evening, Jeff Belangi with Hutchison Shockey Early and Company. Been privileged to work with the city as investment banker underwriter for quite a few years, 2003 I think it was. As you said, you called the question regarding the note anticipation notes that we have for your consideration. As Mark had indicated, the par amount has dropped from our original estimate. I think, as you understand, we've been through this process a number of times. In order to get the process rolling, Mark and I decide we need X number of dollars. We want to capitalize interest. Then you have to make a guesstimate as to where the market's going to be and whether or not it's going to be done at a premium or at a discount. In this case, when we originally sized that issue, we expected, as most of the bonds in the market were being issued, people were paying premiums because they didn't like where the interest rates, they thought the interest rates were heading. Since that time, I think you know the Fed's reduced the discount rate again, which was somewhat of a surprise. And with taxable bonds, we found in the market that a lot of buyers would just rather have par bonds instead of paying premiums. Therefore, instead of paying such a high coupon rate, which indicates an increase in capitalized interest, and other interests we're borrowing to make payments because the TIF is going to pay this back, we substantially reduced the need for capital interest by $200,000. So big benefit in terms of that. We're only issuing $3.4 million. It sounds like you're doing it twice. You have those resolutions there. Note anticipation note, in order to issue those, we actually have to have a template in front saying that we intend to issue bonds or notes in the future to take this out. This is just a promise to do something in the future. It's not a pledge of tax levy or a pledge of any other revenues. It's simply a pledge that we're going to do something before these things come due to refinance them and to pay back the bondholders. What we really intend to happen is that TID's going to cough up a lot of money for us between now and the maturity date, and we're not going to have to refinance much of this at all. Okay? If you will, I have a one-page handout. Oh, by the way, you have a yield of 2.05 on our financing. It's taxable, remember. 2.05. If you take a look at the photocopy of some Bloomberg information, there's two issues. You have a Sheboygan issue and a City of Oak Creek issue, both of them taxable. Fit quite well in terms of our taxable issuance as a comparable. If you look at the top one, the $2,960,000 of Sheboygan, they're AA2. Now, this issuance for us is also AA. We're Standard & Poor's. It's equal to a AA2 Moody's. So we're talking basically a comparable rating, AA's to AA's. If you look at the issuance of that $2,960,000 for Sheboygan, they're paying 5% coupons all the way out. Those are some high premiums. I'm only guesstimating one or two or three reasons as to why that bid looks the way that it does. That's a lot of additional monies generated, and that issue is going to be accruing interest at 5%. Yet look at the yields, particularly if you look at 4/1 of 22. You see where there's a 196 there? Unusual that it started with a 220, a 2.02, a 196, and it went back to a 2.02. My guess is somebody bought 3 or 4 of those maturities together on an average yield. I also guessing that with those high coupons, they generated so much income that they became the winning bidder, but this might not have been the best issue for the city. But when you got the high bid or low interest costs, what are you going to do? Kick it out? As opposed to looking at the Oak Creek deal right below it, no coupons there. The price yield is the same as the coupon, 210. You see that? 213, 215, 220, and a 225. Take a look at the 10-1, 222 maturity. Our maturity is 9-1 of 22. All right, so you're looking at, ours is at 2.05, theirs is at a 215. So we're a tenth through them on a similar type bid. Theirs is a full faith and credit pledge. Remember, even though ours is a AA, we aren't pledging a credit, a tax levy. We're just making a promise. Okay?
Okay.
Are there any questions with respect to that? How and why we decided to do the marketing on a par basis as opposed to a premium basis?
Doug?
Certainly a lower interest cost than might have been anticipated a month or two ago when we started the process. Then again, I've realized after 65 years I am very poor at predicting the future. All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
What is the maturity date for these?
For this one, Doug, it's 9/1 of 22.
Okay.
It's a balloon maturity, which means it's all coming due there. Because, of course, the nature of it being TID supported, we intend those revenues to start to kick in over the next couple of years. And we have a call. Both of these issues that you looked at as comparables are non-callable. They can't get at these bonds until they mature. We have a call in 2021. So come September of 21, if we've got money sitting in our TID fund that we want to pull these bonds at a 2.05 at, we'll pay off whatever we have. If we're making 3% on the money, we're probably going to wait a little while before we pay them off.
Yeah.
So we've got some good flexibility there with respect to that TID and how it develops.
Okay. Well, thank you. Any other questions? Doug, did you have
No?
a?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, I guess if there are no other questions, will the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Wood,
Aye.
Mayor O'Connor,
Aye. Motion passes. Thanks, Jeff. Item 6B, consideration of resolution number 19-8-2366, approving a contract with the Slipstream Group Incorporated for a renewable energy feasibility study. Is there a motion to approve this?
Move approval.
I will second. Brad, are you going to address this? Or?
I can present real quick.
Okay.
So the contract itself is what's on the docket to be approved. That contract is between the City of Monona and Slipstream. It's based on the contract between Slipstream and the City of Middleton, who is the administrator on the grant. So the grant was awarded, the OEI grant, Office of Energy Innovation Grant, was awarded to the City of Middleton with the stipulation that they would also allow the 6 other communities to participate in that grant. And then Slipstream is the purveyor. They are the administrator, per se, hired by the City of Middleton to do all the work. They have the full scope of services that the grant is based on, and they'll make sure to monitor how much money is and is not allocated to the different communities, and then we have a cost share associated The cost share, I believe, is 27%. That's 27% of, like, I think it's 200,000 or somewhere around there. So I think our total amount distributed in terms of labor hours as our cost share is somewhere around 8,000.
So it's your time, right?
Yeah, my time, the intern's time, all of that just has to be tracked and then reported to
Okay.
Slipstream, and then that will be sent into the Office of Energy Innovation to ask for reimbursement. The one thing about this grant is that they do not pay out during the year. It's as soon as the project is completed, and then they get final reimbursement, so full reimbursement at that point. So that's kind of the issue with why the contract got held up until now, even though the grant was awarded in January.
Mhm.
So
But they haven't started the work yet.
No,
Is that
we have.
correct? Oh, you have?
Yep.
Okay, there just hasn't been a,
It just hasn't, there was no official contract at this point, but it was an understanding that, yes, everybody has a certain amount of scope in this grant, and that Slipstream was going to be working with everybody the entire time.
okay.
So
Questions?
Yeah.
Alderwood?
So when do you expect the study to be completed?
the the contract has through the year. So basically, Slipstream has till December 31st to give us a deliverable. I'm assuming, and I can't tell you for sure, that it'll be somewhere in November. Possibly the first meeting in December that we'll have a deliverable for City Council to see, an actual energy plan, comprehensive energy plan. It's essentially the deliverable from this project. So
And they're looking at the whole issue with the solar panels also, is that correct?
that is in their scope. Yep.
Okay. And did Attorney Cole review this?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, Attorney Cole wrote that.
Oh, okay. Even better. Doug, anything
No?
else? Okay, well then all in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Next item, 6C, consideration and approval of a Renew Monona loan award for renovation work at 407 LaBelle Lane. Is there a motion to approve this?
move approval.
And I'll second. Brian?
Thank you. There's a cover memo in your packet that kind of lays out what CDA reviewed at their last meeting last week. This was the first application that came through the newly reauthorized Renew Monona program. It was a request for $50,000. As you'll recall, it's a 50% match for the total project cost. So the Goodmans at 407 LaBelle Lane have a total project of about $100,000. They're asking for a 50% match, which would be $50,000 from our program for this. The applicant was at the CDA meeting and did answer questions from the CDA members, and the CDA did vote unanimously to recommend approval of the award, and it's for kind of a number of different activities, kind of fitting in with a couple of the categories in our loan program. So with that, I'll pause and take any questions that you might have on the CDA recommendation.
Brian, did you? Or Doug, did you?
So how much would that leave us for, I think we were looking at an amount, 300,000 or something, as it sort of,
Yeah, I mean we don't have a hard and fast number. We were talking somewhere in the ballpark of 250 to 300,000. So it would leave us about 200 to 250
annually.
annually.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else? And I think Brian, Administrator Gatto and I talked about, there was some discussion if council should be approving this or CDA, and Brian suggested that we would like CDA to approve it, but that then bring it to Finance and Personnel rather than to the entire council.
Right.
Yeah, for the monetary authorization.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, so. Joan, do you need a roll call for this?
Since it's money, yeah.
Yeah, since it's 50. or-
Yes.
Okay, would you please call the roll?
Mayor O'Connor,
Aye.
Alderwood,
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up is acceptance of general fund accounts payable checks dated June 14th to July 11th, 2019, and July 12th through August 1st, 2019. I think we held over the bills from the last meeting for approval at this meeting. Documentation of invoices paid is available in the city clerk's office. Mark, do you want to?
Yeah. So I'm going to start, and if you guys had any questions or want to jump in, just let me know. There's a lot of here. So I know we kind of went over the financials, the monthly's last meeting. One of the things that is always going to be concerned, it seems like every year, is building repairs. So on page 48, just going to kind of just look at that. It's one Kilgus, HVAC repairs, the library, heating repairs at City Hall, some testing, balancing as part of the capital project.
I had a question about something on page 47.
Sure.
Go back here. Oh, just these two payments to the City of Madison treasurer for swimming pool and Lattice Park concessions?
I believe that's their permits for this. We have to pay.
So we pay permits to City of Madison?
Yeah, they apparently administer those kind of permits.
Permits.
Oh,
And it's a yearly permit that we have to pay.
like for the county or
from
something,
the
or?
County.
County.
yes, and they
Oh.
kind of administer it.
Okay, all right. Go on, Mark.
Just. I missed the rules in it. Just page 54, just a good thing. The Mulligans. This is paid out of a donation account, but this is for they had a successful Mulligans.
Do we know how much that brought in?
I believe it's a little over 2,500.
Okay.
Page 57, Actor Appraisal. I think this is our last payment. Now they're out for bids. Just one bid on that. Page 57, kind of a monthly cost for Bill Cole. Actually, Burleson, I'm sorry, at the very bottom. Page 60, GEC, or engineers, or building inspectors. The May building inspection fees, they're per hour, and they are, finishing up this at the time they're finishing up the riverfront and so on, the hotel. So these are higher bills for the month, which is expected. HB Pretzborn, kind of into that. Locker room, pool, locker room, showers, part of the capital budget. And again, another. Just the Kilguts maintenance contract, that's how we pay every quarter for the contract. Page 62, Landmark Services. We do have two, but this is one of our gas bills. Fuel bills. Page 64, just kind of hits some of the things that are, again, working on with Strand at this point right now, ongoing charges. And then same thing on page 65 with Veerbecker at the very bottom. It's kind of the ongoing charges for projects, all part of the capital plan. Page 66, Yes Equipment, the new electric vehicle. I don't know if you've seen it, which is purchased and in use down at the rec department.
Mhm.
Just a lot of it's stuff. Just page 79. I'm skipping page 79. A1 Electric. These are kind of the final payment for the generator project. That's took over a year or so to finish, but it's finally done. Struck and Irwin is part of the microsurfacing project, part of the capital plan. Page 83, as you know, we kind of contract Bobcat of Madison for medium maintenance equipment. This is part of the operating budget. Page 87. This one hit on this was because this will be another concern coming up here when we'll start their next meeting or the meeting after that. Tree removal right now. We're working with Dan right now. The ash tree issue right now is starting to it's going to be kind of expensive, so it's just a big number right now, once we're looking at what we might have to do for the rest of the year, so we might come back with a budget amendment.
Do you know, is Johnson taking down all of them, or I know we have to have professionals do a fair number of them. Is the crew doing any?
The crew currently is not doing
Okay.
it. They might be doing some insight if it's in a park or something like that. Anything on the right of ways,
Okay.
it's all done by Johnson. Page 90, just a list of our Monona Bank credit card use. And page 91, MSA, kind of the projects they're working on. The Capital City Bike Trail is, they're working on that. Page 95, the Higher Phase 1 lakes. There's supposed to be a void in here, so we didn't really pay that amount. I don't know why the void didn't show up. We made the payments, we had to void them, void a set of them, and then you had to reissue them. So we didn't pay that amount. There's a void that must not get printed out on these reports. So we did not pay what's on there. We paid half of it. Page 97, Barnes. City, the brush pickup, and I believe the brush pickup is on the way right now.
So this wasn't the special brush pickup after the storm?
I don't know if that was a special one or not.
That shouldn't be in here yet.
Okay.
No. I think that's pretty much a lot of it I have. That's all I have. Do I have anything? Well, page 111. It's another vehicle, the Ford Fusion. Another one of the sustainability vehicles for the police department. It's up and running now. It's in. Page 112. Another, just want to hit on these fuel gas cost, because that is probably one of the things this year we're doing all right revenue-wise. Most of our expenses are doing good. Just the repairs, it seems like it's all related to the HVACs and stuff, like the heaters and stuff like that. So that's all I have.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the bills, or did you have any other questions, Doug?
No, I'll move to accept the accounts payable checks.
I will second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.